Hi, my name's Jonathan Will and I'm one of the co-founders of the Healthiest Town project. In a couple of minutes, we're going to introduce you to some local faces, people that have made small changes to their lifestyles that have made a huge impact on their health. But before we do that, I thought I'd take this opportunity to talk to you a little bit more about the Healthiest Town project. The Healthiest Town project was inspired by lots of things, including the blue zones in the world, and this is areas where people live longer, healthier lives than anywhere else on the planet. But a big part of our inspiration really was Feldy Roo and the incredible work that they did alongside members of our community to look after vulnerable and older people throughout the pandemic, and in particular the lockdowns. It made us realise that if we want change to happen, then Aberfeldy is the place to make it happen. But why are we so passionate about health and about making Aberfeldy Scotland's healthiest town? For a couple of generations now, Scotland has been known as the sick man of Europe, and that's because we have a really high rate of things like cardiovascular disease, diabetes and cancer. And there's an ever-growing issue around mental health and also the misuse of drugs and alcohol. And that means that a lot of people throughout their life, and particularly towards the end of their life, will carry long-term conditions and will have quite poor health. I also want to talk a little bit about what Healthiest Town is not. So this is not about exercise, it's not about fitness and six-packs and performance and turning everyone into athletes. It's about maintaining good health so that we can live a long and healthy life. It's really difficult to understand what is or isn't a healthiest lifestyle these days. There's a lot of information out there and a lot of it's misleading. So Healthiest Town is leading with 4 very simple pillars. Our first pillar is to eat real food, and by that we mean staying away from ultra-processed foods and wherever possible eating whole food cooked from scratch. The second pillar is to move each day, and when we say move, we don't necessarily mean getting down the gym or going out for a run. It doesn't have to be a sport. It can be things like gardening, dancing, or actually for older people in the community, it may just be as simple as getting out of your chair and moving around your house on a regular basis to make sure you maintain that functional ability. Our third pillar is about finding balance, and by that we mean the balance between work and family life, the balance between play and finding time to stop and rest and reset. It's about good quality sleep, and it's about doing things that help reset your nervous system and enable you to have good quality mental health and build emotional resilience so that you're better able to cope with the day-to-day challenges that we all face. And the final pillar is about connection. So firstly, it's a connection with nature. And actually there's a lot of research now that says that as humans, we absolutely need to spend time in nature. And there's lots of health benefits from being outdoors and connecting with nature. But it's also about connecting with people. And again, it doesn't matter. It could be your family, it could be work colleagues, it could be a sports club, a bridge club, a sewing bee. You need to find a group of people that you can call your tribe and spend time with them. And it's a really important part of being human. The final connection that everyone needs as a human is that connection with purpose. In fact, the Japanese have a word for this, they call it ikigai, and it is that sense of purpose. So whether that's a commitment to a job or a career, to one of the arts, to being the best sibling, spouse, grandparent that you can be, or even just volunteering with some of the projects that you'll see in Healthiest Town to give a bit back and feel part of the community. It's really important that you have your own sense of purpose. So with all that said, let's introduce you to some of the locals that are already making some of these changes in their lives, feeling the benefits, the health benefits of those changes, and hopefully we can inspire you to do the same and for Aberfeldy to become Scotland's healthiest town.
Well, I was waiting for a hip replacement, and so I took up swimming. I found it helped my mobility, it kept me moving, and it was just one of those things that meant that I was in less pain sometimes when I got out of the water. The cold water seems to freeze things up a wee bit, meaning that it wasn't quite so painful for a wee while. And now I'm post-op, which is good. I was back in the water about 5 weeks after I'd had my operation, and with the help of friends I was able to get in and start swimming again. And again, it numbed it so that I was actually able to walk for the first time without sticks or anything just after swimming, because there was no pain, which was great. I really enjoy coming out and just being in the water, and I'm not someone who enjoys the water normally, but over the last year and a half I've really come to be less fearful and really enjoy the activity and the social aspect, which is great as well. And there's the beauty, I mean, come on, just look around you, this place is fantastic. And in the winter it's been great to just get out there and just look up at Ben Lawers, and some days you can see even as far as Ben Moor. And just being in nature, I think it's really good for your mental health as well as your physical abilities, just to be within nature and just enjoy being in the beauty of where we are. And I've just really, I find it addictive. It's quite an addictive kind of thing. You want to just get out there and just enjoy the freedom. And certainly for the hip operation, it was the freedom of being able to move without pain that made me just enjoy it so much. I'm going to continue as long as I can, yeah, definitely. Obviously the summer months it's a bit busier here, but you can still find a spot to dump your stuff and walk in.
I'm Felicity Coleman, and I work with Berks every weekday. I absolutely love it. It's just really a fantastic way to start your day. If you wake up in the morning and you're feeling a little bit down, just coming up here and seeing the different seasons and things like that is just unbelievable. And by the time you've finished, you just feel great. It just really lifts your mood. Sometimes you can get up in the morning and you feel a bit sluggish and you think, oh God, I don't really want to do it. But by the time you get here, you meet up with a pal and you go round, it just makes you feel fantastic, to be quite honest. Started about 8 months ago. I've got fibromyalgia and I was having a lot of problems with my hips and my knees and everything, and I don't want to take any drugs or painkillers. And I thought, well, let's just try gently starting off doing this. And to begin with, it was torture. I have to be honest, found it quite hard going. And now, we can actually get up here without stopping, which is a major miracle in itself. But yeah, really enjoy it. I will keep going with this because it just really does make such a big difference to me. As long as my hips hang out, I will be doing the Berks, and I will be hopefully feeling the benefit for a long time to come.
March 2022, I had a diagnosis that was a bad one for my eye, which meant I had to try and change things in my lifestyle, which meant let's go for walking. I live in a beautiful area, so it was an ideal spot to start to change things in my life and also change what I was eating, properly eating things now. And I'm now 3 stone lighter, feeling a lot better and have a wee bit more energy than I did have before. So it's worth it to just listen to what's been told to you and, go ahead and do it. It's not a quick fix. It's a definite do it slow. My weight came off slowly. I've kept it off and I want to keep it off because I can't have the same problem happening in my other eye. And yes, I have to keep walking and doing things just to keep a wee bit fitter. It's gorgeous to walk. You meet people out on your walk that you've never met before. They speak to you, they offer you a lift, you refuse because you're on your walking. But it's wonderful. It was just so nice, and It's just the only bad thing is I've had to change all my clothing. That's the only bad bit. But other than that, no, everything's, you know, a lot better. My eating's better. I feel better. And yeah, it's just all good. Anyone who needs to change things in their life, whether it be food, small changes in fatigue, exercises, anything like that, please go and see your GPs. They've helped me wonderfully, and I'm sure they would help anyone, even if it's only a very small change.
Yeah, it's one of these things where you kind of, things just keep moving on, and to the point where you think, wait a minute, I'm just not quite right with myself here. And eventually this went on for a couple of months, and I went to the doctor, and he did some blood tests, and to be honest, it gave me a fright. When you get somebody to tell you need to stop drinking, when you don't drink much at all. So yeah, it was basically a case of, well, okay, if you don't drink, we need to do some more investigation. They did a little bit more investigation, and turns out I was diagnosed with having a fatty liver. No real cure, but I was carrying an awful lot of extra weight. So I set about, over the space of about 6 months, with a bit of specialist advice from the guys there in PRI, to set about just making little changes to things. I was, you're going to laugh at this, a Coke addict. Not the white stuff, but the stuff in the red cans. And cutting that back to the bare minimum, cutting my sugar intake. I had a great sweet tooth. I was taking 3 sugars in a cup of tea. And when I look back at that and I taste 3 sugars in a cup of tea now, it's almost like poison. It's horrible. But doing that, couple that with where we live, you know, this whole area here allows you to go out and just wander, and that's what I did. I found myself a 3-kilometre route around the village where I live, and I did that every day, come rain, come shine, come hail. That, coupled with a few little changes, reducing the sugar and stuff like that, allowed me to lose ultimately about 22 kilos. Definitely feeling better, feeling lighter in there. Don't have to buy any more new clothes because everything still fits, which is quite nice. It does make you feel lighter. You're not dragging basically the weight. You know, 22 kilos is a lot of weight. I dare anybody to try and pick up and carry around 22 kilos strapped to their waist. So if it's on you internally, it's hard to move it around. If you're not doing exercise, you're not getting the kind of happy chemicals in your body, in your brain, and get out there, just go and do something. It's amazing how better you feel after just a little bit of exercise. And it doesn't have to be going and running a marathon. It can be just simply walking around the streets of your hometown or your home village. We are very, very fortunate to have so many miles, hundreds of miles of paths you can go and walk from your doorstep. You don't even need to get a car. Especially here in Aberfeldy, where you've got the new Feldy fitness track and things like that. Don't run it, just go out, walk it. Enjoy the birdsong at this time of year. Enjoy the flowers, enjoy the fresh air. And you will feel better. It will make you feel better. You don't have to eat processed food. There's so many different local suppliers that you can use. You know, you've got the butcher, you've got Ballintarget store, you know, even the co-op has the healthy options. Everything in moderation, nothing to excess.
My life fell apart after when my husband left me after 45 years. He broke my heart, and my mental health state just fell right to the ground. It was very difficult, especially if I was in the middle of COVID, and trying to stay stable was not easy. Lucky for me, I was able to go out and walk and speak to people from a distance, and that certainly helped me a lot. Some days were really difficult. I always push myself to get out of bed, because and put on my lipstick because that was something I needed to do. Anyway, I was very lucky, and the fact was going outside and doing things, cycling or walking, because that's what I enjoy. It helped me being out in nature and just pushing myself to do things outside and enjoying the life outside, because we live in a beautiful country. I'm a very outgoing person, so I managed to get myself into different groups, like being in a cycling group, swimming in the loch, while swimming, and that way I got to meet lots of people, and then it just kind of goes into other things, and anything to keep myself going and get out there. It's keeps me in some kind of equilibrium balance. Obviously, I've still got sad moments. It's 3 years since he left me, but it definitely is improving, and definitely this area and just being out there and being part of other people has helped me tremendously.
Aberfeldy has a great selection of local clubs and groups catering to all ages and abilities. As well as a local cycling group, Betty Campbell organises a walking group every Thursday around Aberfeldy.
Well, we have a short walk. There's a big walk and a short walk, and I can't do a big walk. So Bob and I just do a little walk. But I have to keep moving.
Yeah.
So we just have a wee stroll on a Thursday morning.
And you feel the benefit of that?
Not really. To be honest, no. But it just keeps me moving.
Yeah.
Because without doing the wee walk, I'll just be stuck at home.
Yeah.
And that's no use.
Well, I got my electric bike a couple of years ago. I hadn't been cycling. I used to cycle a lot in years gone by, but I hadn't for quite a few years. And after COVID, having been unwell and with very little energy, I needed to get moving again, and I saw an advert that this was for sale second hand. I thought that might be my way back in. But I didn't know anyone else who wanted to go cycling on an e-bike. And then I saw an advert for Essential Cycling Skills course.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
Yeah. And that's where we met, wasn't it? Which was a helpful course run by the Locust Centre. And after that we decided we would do a few more rides just to hone our skills.
Yeah, no, I bought my bike. I hadn't been cycling for about 30 years. And just, again, saw the Essential Bike Skills and thought, yeah, give it a try. So came down, and I'd never ever been on an electric bike before. And if you haven't tried them, they're fantastic. If you come to a hill, you just put the battery on and it's like somebody's giving you a push. So no hills are out of bounds. No hills are out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, my push bike hasn't been out the shed for years, and I don't suppose it probably will come out again, just because I don't have the amount of energy that I used to have. But this gets me going. I don't use the power all the time, far from it, but it just gets me out on the road. We joined a group of guided bike rides.
Yeah,
which was really good because we felt a bit more confident going out with people who had an idea of where it was good to cycle in the area and gave us lots of extra tips. And we gradually got to know people through the group and started off going just as a group without the guides. And now we go every Tuesday.
Well, there's usually about 6 or 7 of us who now come on these rides. But yeah, and meeting different people. You know, having the other 4 or 5 people I'd never met before, and if it hadn't been for the bikes, we'd probably never have come across them. And we now do other things socially.
Friends. I mean, we always have a coffee after our bike rides, so we've got plenty of time to chat about what things we do, other groups that we're in and things that we're interested in. So we've introduced each other to lots of new things. Apart from the physical exercise of getting out on the bike, it's broadened our horizons, as they say, in all sorts of other areas, and just made us feel a lot more confident and enjoy life. Really.
Yeah, it's great because quite honestly, the first time I tried the bikes, I mean, I could not take my hand off the handlebars to signal anything. So I was very thankful there was somebody else with me. But now I go out on my own and I love it. I love my bike.
Well, we're here tonight in the hall because we've got a new club in Aberfeldy called the Boccia Club, Aberfeldy Boccia Club. And as you'll see, it's a combination of bowling and curling, probably is the best description. This particular one is for people with any kind of disability or no disability. It's the most inclusive sport that we are running because everybody has to be seated when they're doing it, so no difference. We also have a variety of activities now in Aberfeldy through the Highland Disability Sports. Particularly at the moment we have football on a Wednesday, we have a Lego club, we have a swimming club as well on a Tuesday evening, and we have a yoga session at the Burke Cinema on a Monday. And there are other things happen as well in short blocks, rugby, tennis, archery. These are all things that have been done, and it's a really exciting arm to the Healthiest Town initiative because it's allowing everybody to take part. This club, particularly where we are tonight, has been on the go since earlier this year, and we have varying numbers, but it's very exciting, and one team has already been to a championship match in Stirling, and there's another one coming up in the summer. So there are some skills are developing which are really exciting, and it gives a huge amount of pleasure when we can hit the targets, when we can achieve a goal, you know, and everybody achieves in this game, and it's fantastic.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm a yoga teacher in the area, and I teach chair-based exercise and yoga. We're very active on a Monday in our community doing chair-based exercise. We've got 3 classes going at the cinema and on Zoom and at Dalween. You're really welcome to join us at the cinema or on Zoom, and we're very focused on having fun as well as doing our exercise. Our exercises are really helpful for keeping us healthy and active into older age, and really are teaching us stuff we can do at home, which I nag everybody about. So always welcome to join us.
These classes, I think, are very important for us. When you get older, you get arthritic pains, and these are the things that keep your muscles going. And it's good fun as well. Emma always cheers us up every Monday that we come. And thank you very much to everybody.
So there we have it, some great stories from local faces, people that have made small changes that have led to huge improvements in their health. And we hope that that inspires you to do it for yourself, so you enjoy better quality health, but also to contribute to Aberfeldy becoming Scotland's healthiest town. Now you can find more information online at www.healthiesttown.org, or you can speak to the GP and our link workers in the surgery.